What's a phrase that shitty people use? It's just a prank, bro. Do you know who I am? Like it matters. I have a, do you know who I am? Story. When my husband and I first moved to town, the bar he worked at had this Christmas party at the owner's house. I didn't know anyone yet. I was grabbing a drink and one of the guys, who I knew was the bar owner's husband, was talking about his band. So, just trying to make conversation, I said, "Oh, you're in a band?" And he gives me this shocked look and says, "Don't you know who I am?" I'm lucky. Fucking Lawrence. His band was really nothing special, but he really thought he was some sort of local celebrity. I still see him around town sometimes and I'm always like, "Oh look, it's Lucky fucking Lawrence." LMAO. Years back, my friend worked at a restaurant. He worked in the back most of the time, but would fill in out front to cover vacations, call-outs, etc. So, one Saturday, around 10 a.m., this woman comes in and says, "I want to book your party room." Now, they had a party room upstairs from the restaurant that was pretty in demand as it was a nice space, the food was good and it was reasonably priced. Weekend dates were usually booked 2 to 3 months in advance. So, anyway, my friend pulls out their reservation book and says, "What date do you want? I'll see if we have an opening." She looks at him, in total seriousness, and says, "Tomorrow. Bridal shower for 40 people. Now, he already knew they were booked because he was doing the cooking for that event. He says, "Ma'am, I'm sorry. We're already booked for tomorrow. This room usually books out about 2 to 3 months. I won't be able to accommodate you since we already have another event." She says, "Well, then you can have them rebook their event. I already sent out invitations and I have 40 people showing up here tomorrow. What are you going to do?" He said, "Ma'am, I'm very sorry. I don't know what to tell you. We don't rebook scheduled events. There are a couple of other nearby restaurants. You can try to see if they can accommodate your group. We definitely cannot." She looks at him and says, "Don't you know who I am? I'm a close, personal friend of Peter, the owner. You need to make this right. Tell Peter to close the restaurant and our event can be downstairs while the other event is upstairs. He's done this for me before. Just write it down in your little book. It'll be fine." Now, my friend worked at this restaurant for 10 years and not once had Peter ever closed down the restaurant for a private event. It was private. Events upstairs, restaurant downstairs. Further, he had not once ever seen this woman in his life, and Peter was not known for his largesse, so he decided to call her on her bluff. He says, "Well, I can't make that call, but Peter certainly can. I'll go get him so we can sort this out." The woman kind of got a blank look on her face but didn't say anything. Now, Peter was not a man who liked dealing with this sort of thing, which is why he had front of house staff. He especially disliked it when he was doing his inventory and ordering, which is what he was doing at that moment. So, friend gets Peter, explains the situation. Peter comes out, he looks at the woman and goes, "Who the hell are you?" She gives him some spiel and he just shuts her down totally and goes, "We're booked tomorrow," and returns to the back. She starts to cry, begging my friend to help her in some way as she has 40 people coming to a restaurant where she has no booking. He just said, "Sorry, I can only suggest these other restaurants," and, with that, the woman left. Who the hell sends out invitations before booking a venue? Idiot. Only good thing was no one from the party showed up the next day, just the people from the scheduled event. So, she must have figured out something. Some tried the "I know the owner" spiel where I worked. The owner happened to be there that day but was in the back and couldn't hear this exchange. They pull out their phone to call the owner. I don't know if they had grabbed a business card previously or could read the card on the counter without picking it up, but they called the number on his business card. The store phone rings and I pick it. "Thank you for calling an LT store in GT. Can you please hold?" For some strange reason she hung up the phone at the exact same time as the person on the store phone. Strange. I have a similar story, The owner's wife, also the owner, went to deal with a belligerent customer who of course says, "Well, I know the owner." Quote. She replies, "Oh really? I am the owner." When I worked in a restaurant the same thing happened. The owner was helping waiting tables as we were short-staffed and he started working in restaurants as a waiter. Someone tried to pull the, "You better do what I ask because I know the owner," thing on the owner. The idea of just throwing that line out blind is wild to me. I'd die to embarrassment if I tried that bluff on the owner. And GT. The store phone rings and I pick it. "Thank you for calling in LT. Store in GT. Can you please hold?" For some strange reason she hung up the phone at the exact same time as the person on the store phone. Strange. That sounds so satisfying. Place I worked at years ago, kinda similar, well-known spot with good food, always pretty busy. We would definitely have people try and get special accommodations by saying they're friends with the owner. The owner had a standing rule about that. Anyone who says they're my friend when asking for something is not my friend, because all my friends know not to do that. Honestly miss that job. It was a fun place to work. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Translation. I am a nightmare but you need to feel lucky that I am spending time with you. The way I read it, I have severe mental issues that I demand you deal with. Both can be true honestly, from my experience. We work hard and we play hard, equals, we are constantly stressed and everyone's an alcoholic. Work hard equals you're staying until 7 p.m. every day. Play hard equals once a month there's a required outing to the bar after work where the manager buys a single pitcher of beer for the team. 7 p.m.? That's really early for some of the work hard, play hard places I've worked. Sadly, some guy fucked me over at work and I checked him for it. His response, "I guess there's a little devil in all of us." I shoulda hit him. He provided you with your defense. Go for it. Hey, owie, why'd you hit me? The devil made me do it. Cue Mr. Krabs laugh. ###. Do you know who my dad is? No, I'm sorry, I don't. Perhaps you should try asking your mother. Or simply no. Does your mother? You made me hit you. If I had a nickel for every, why do you make me have to do this? Man facepalming light skin tone. My husband was like that, but he sure didn't accept it when I said, "You made me leave you." It takes a lot of courage to leave an abusive partner. This internet stranger is proud of you. Thank you. It did, but it wasn't for me. It was for my toddler. I didn't realize how much both our personalities were altered by verbal abuse until we got away and started therapy. It's a process. Ooh, look what you made me do. I'm just brutally honest and tell it like it is. It's always used by people who primarily enjoy the brutal part. They are never being brutally honest about how good someone is at something. It's always an excuse to be an asshole. I can't help it. I'm a insert star sign. Sorry for running over your dog. Mercury is in Gatorade today. You shouldn't be drinking mercury. Don't tell me how to live my life. It's my truth. Oh my God. I'm Australian. We have a show called The Block. A few seasons ago there was a cheating scandal right at the start of the series. Someone snuck in and took a photo of the production schedule and used that to gain an advantage. No one fessed up, so it was a guessing game for the entire season. 1. Woman kept talking about my truth. All I can do is tell my truth. But that doesn't matter because I'm telling my truth. When asked what the difference is between their truth and the truth, it was like verbal diarrhea. Go figure, at the end she accidentally outed herself. I feel like someone telling my truth only really matters when it comes to explaining a person's feelings. Kind of like someone says a joke and that hurts you. They do this regularly. You say they are joking. You say it's hurtful. That is your truth. Anything beyond that situation makes no sense. I'm old, so I've gotten to watch new terms show up. I've noticed that vibes replaced feelings, and now it's not my feelings, it's the vibes coming from something else. Like instead of I have a bad feeling and out tonight, It's, tonight is giving me bad vibes. Kind of interesting how the subject switched. Thank you for visiting my TEDx talk, middle-aged American Reddit dad. Only God can judge. Nah bitch, I'm judging you pretty hard. I'm just being honest. Do not confuse speaking the truth with speaking without thought. A line from Glass Onion I loved. It's a dangerous thing to mistake speaking without thought for speaking the truth. Are you calling me dangerous? I love that they have her completely miss his point. Perfect follow-up to a great line. Everyone cheats. No Sharon. It's just your skanky ass. You're an inspiration. You're so inspiring, to disabled and or chronically ill people just trying to live their dang lives. Makes me think of a stand-up set I saw from Josh Blue years ago. He has cerebral palsy, and he said one day he was out walking and a woman